Andre, did you get anything from that video? One thing? How ridiculous do you want to be? Eric White, Patrick Park. What's up, friends? How are y'all doing? Thank you for hopping on my IG. I'm getting live right now on the Facebook and YouTube. I apologize about the view. I don't have it set up very well. We need to fix that. Our new software van, can't we run 3 at one time? All right. Whew. Man, it was cold last night. Did you go outside and do anything last night, Andre?
Yeah, I had some golf balls with the rain while I worked.
Did you? Very productive. Hey, happy.
Types of exercise.
Say what?
Different types of exercise.
Yeah, that is definitely questionable exercise at best. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Are you ready for your show today, Andre? You ought to be telling people, do you have your topic? Tammy Burton, what's shaking? I do have, hey, y'all can see this big old gallon of water over here. My wife got this for me. Hey, if you're on here, do me a favor. Please share the stream. Maybe somebody needs to hear this. Hey, is Hayden on here yet? Did I tell y'all? Hayden, see if he's not like right, let's see if he's on here. He'll say something. If Hayden's like not right here with us, that dude just kind of drifts off, don't he? That's why it's so important to have a little pack that you're running with. Who you're running with is so important in your life. Joy Calvin, good morning, guys. Doing CE classes this morning. Mandatory fun. Congratulations. Good thing you get to do it. Today what we're talking about is life is about trial and error. How many of you have had a lot of errors in your life? How many of you even know that you're making mistakes? When you get older, whenever you get older, you're having a little baby girl. And you're going to be able to tell her, what's her name? Avery Grace. You're going to say, little Avery Grace, if you do this, this, and this, I can predict what's going to happen. You know why? Because you've already experienced the trial and error. So this past year, I have really been behind as a business person for a long time. And the reason why is I did not track trial and error. I just got up and did the same shit year after year after year after year. Joy Calvin, are you tracking your trial and errors? See, you can skip some steps. You can skip some errors. What's one way you think you could skip an error? A mentor. Thank you, Van. How did you not know that? You look lost, like damn. How could you not know that?
I thought you were talking about keeping up with numbers.
Well, one of the ways you can skip failure is by getting around somebody and they can say, look, dude, then you got to trust and you got to do. You can get information from somebody that can help you. Like, have you ever been hit by a car?
No.
But I can tell you not to go hit by a car. You know not to get hit by a car. Some people may not. Lucky don't. I think if I let Lucky out right now, that dude would run right out in the damn street and get hit. He's already been hit by a car. I haven't tracked them, but they're fresh on my mind. Well, that ain't doing you any good, Joey Calvin. You got to track all this. You've got to track everything, or you're just going to repeat one fuck up after another. Pardon my language, but that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to keep messing up. Travis, what's up? I'm on the CE shop in class. Big goals. Blake Duncan, trial and error, successes and failure. It's all part of the process. I am going to talk about failure. I've got that in my notes where we may talk about this because you've got to be able to fail. You've got to allow yourself to fail. But the problem is most people, if they won't try to fail, they'll try to do nothing. Have you ever noticed that? Like Van in there. That dude, if he's going to mess up, he don't even want to try it. Do you, Van?
Generally not.
Why is that?
Because I don't like to fail.
Well, I was telling my wife this last night. Failure is a future payment of success. Does that make sense? What you fail out today will pay you back in the future if you're documenting things. Some people, they come in and their life, their relationships. Have you ever seen people go from one bad relationship to another bad relationship? Or they go from one bad job to another bad job. Or they go from one bad decision to another bad decision. When are you going to learn? Well, here's what I have found. Tracking things that work. Identifying things that work. Knowing something that works is how you get ahead. So this year is the first year that we have really ever tracked anything. When did we start tracking in January, Van? When did we actually start tracking?
In January.
We started tracking everything in January as much as we knew. See, we didn't even know what all we needed to track in January, did we?
Not really.
So every other week or so, we're probably saying, we need to be tracking this. We need to be tracking that. The reason why you need to track these things, we can come back at some point later on and say, this right here works. We need to be doing more of this. You need to duplicate things that work. And the real problem is you just don't know what's going to work. We never really know what will work until we try it and see. Would you agree with that? You just really never know. You can try it, or you think you can know, or maybe you think you can do it, but the honest truth is you really don't know until you try it, because I might say this won't work for you. Maybe it just wouldn't work for me. Maybe if you did it, it would work for you. You can learn from others via observation. That's right, Blake Duncan. Failure is your own skin in the game. It's your sweat equity to learning. Well, I have failed so many times, it doesn't even bother me to fail anymore. I mean, it literally, I just expect to fail. As a matter of fact, if you're really, really going to grow, you're probably going to fail a lot more than you win. If you're expanding, if you're constantly focusing on expanding your life, expanding everything in your life, your relationships, your finances. Hayden finally got on here at 8:37. Good morning, Hayden. Sickening. Unless you've been on here the whole time and just didn't say nothing. I don't know. But you're going to fail most of the time. Why are people so afraid to fail? Why are they so afraid of the error? Is it because of how others will look at you, or is it how you will look at yourself? I think a lot of times people they don't want to see themselves as a failure.
I feel like with some people, it's what others see in them too. I feel like some people are more worried about what other people think than what they believe in themselves, or how they see themselves.
Well, what are you going to do about that? What can people do to expand outside of that comfort, that level that makes them feel, they think it makes them feel good about themselves, but it really doesn't. It really makes you more insecure. It really makes you try even less. It really makes you have a much smaller life. It really contracts everything in your life.
Try things and risk more failure.
Yes. So I don't know how many times I'll tell Van, let's just see, how often do you feel like I'm willing to try something that I don't know what the outcome is?
Quite often, way more than me, for sure.
Red X.
That was something. That was a complete waste of money. Well, maybe we could have done a better job with it. I always take personal responsibility. Maybe we could have made that platform work, but we did give up on it pretty easily. Nobody really tried it. And you know what? Whenever you make a mistake, the fact I made a mistake by buying that shitty product did not stop me from doing other things. Yeah. That was one bad decision. That does not mean everything I do will be a bad decision. All you've got to do is find one decision that completely changed. You can, like the way we started doing Zillow in the last year, I think made a huge difference. And the way we did that, trial and error. The way I used to teach it was sit there and try to build a relationship with somebody that was willing to go out and look at a house. So what we found was changing up the way we talked to the customer, communicated with them, and we immediately went out to show the property. That has completely changed the way we do Zillow. We would not have found this out unless we went through a trial and error. I don't know what our conversion rate would be if we were doing this all year long, because I don't think we started out the year doing it that way. I don't think.
No, we didn't. We changed about halfway through, maybe midsummer.
So we changed it up, and now whenever somebody calls in, how often are you getting in front of them?
I would say about half or more.
You feel like that anyway. Maybe it's somewhere close to that. But see, my point is, we're not going to limit this to one thing. We're going to look at it with many things. Whenever you know what works is how you can become more successful. If you don't even know, or if you think you know, I thought that I was netting a lot more money. Then Van would put these numbers together, and I'd look at it and I'd be bitching at him. And he was probably taking it like I was yelling at him. Were you?
Nah, not really.
Well, I was looking, I'm like, damn, where's all the money? See, a lot of people, you don't even know where your money is because you're not tracking it. That was a huge lesson for me this year. Thinking, well, look at how much money came in. I think this much is going. I didn't even really know how much was going out, and I don't have a great accounting mind. I have to have it so simple. Like a P&L does not make sense to me because it's got all these things grouped in there, and I don't know. The way it needs to be for me is I need to see a line item that goes out. Everything. Okay, this makes sense to me. So how much money came in, how much of the total went out, then I can see all these things. But see, the things that you measure, you will improve. Did you hear me? What'd I say?
The things that you measure have to be improved.
No. The things that you measure will improve. And you figure this out through a trial and error. You don't figure this out by assumption. You don't figure this out by, this is real world stuff. Blake Duncan, the key is honestly identifying mistakes and learning from them. Deflecting mistakes as someone else's fault or not my fault doesn't promote learning. Just got to own it and fail forward. I agree 100% with that. As a matter of fact, most of the people that are here will always acknowledge it was their fault. There could be 4 people acknowledging it was their fault, when honestly it may have been somebody else's fault. But once you can acknowledge it's your fault, there's ways you can improve that. If you don't feel like it's your fault, you'll never even begin to improve because you don't think it's necessary. Inspect what you expect. I like that. So now I don't even know if last year, this is how bad of a business person I was. I don't even know if last year at this time we really knew how many leads came into the office. I did know how many were under contract and how much we had closed, but I did not know all these things that were key indicators before a sale would happen. How many leads were coming in? How many are we converting? How many people are we getting in front of? How many calls are we making? I just thought I knew. And because of that, if you don't, well, you can't improve something that you're not measuring. There's just no way. So I've got a feeling going into 2021, I think our conversion rate on Zillow was about, it's close to 9%. Got a feeling that number's going to improve. And it all started because of a trial and error. It started with me not wanting to get Zillow, but I got Zillow. I screwed it up the way I taught it. I told people to do it one way. That didn't work. Then I had the weatherman said, here's how we need to be doing it. And I didn't know about that. Well, then we started doing it his way. And then Dean from Zillow, he started giving me more input. And the next thing you know, I feel like we're getting better. We never would have done this without trial and error. We never would have done this without trying something, failing at it, and then measuring what works. If you really want to expand your life, what I would tell everybody to do is take a note of everything that happens to them, whether it's good, whether it's bad, and then what I would tell you to do over time, find the things that work and do more of that. That's what successful people do. They find out what works. Football coaches like Blake Duncan, former football coach, they know what works and they try to do that. That's part of what they do. So if you're watching this at some point, I would ask yourself, do you really, really know for certain what is working in your life? Do you know what's not working? Do you have a system in place where you can track this? Do you measure this? Do you see if you're improving it? You will improve anything that you're measuring. Like right now, I'm on a diet, hardcore. Every day, I'm watching everything. I've even got this big jug of water up here. It's a gallon. I'm doing all these things and I'm tracking it. And over time, there will be improvement because I'm holding myself to such an accountable standard. So, life is about trial and error. And most people are scared to enter a game where they're uncertain of anything. It's hard for people to move forward into something where they don't know the outcome. Like if we were in the one of Moon Guy's rivers? The Nile. And it was 40 yards from one side to the other, and it was only about 5 feet deep. But on the other side, there was something that you really, really wanted. What would be your first question before you wanted to walk over there? What's in there? Hey, how deep is it? You would want to know all these things. Well, in other areas of your life, maybe it's not as risky, but you still won't try things because there's something you're saying that maybe there's a 35-foot python in there. Maybe there's a crocodile. Maybe there's something in there that's going to get me. Well, your mind is always going to put into your conscience, what if, what if, what if, what if. And because of the what if, you never move forward. Moving forward with failure is a success. And I've learned that. I've learned that over the last couple of years, where I've always kind of been that person that I would sabotage my success because I would put the what ifs as the solution. Well, I ain't going to do this because what if this? That would just I could talk myself out of something so easily. Now I don't, now whenever I'm in front of a decision and I ask myself, what if, I just say, so, what if? I know now that whatever it is, the outcome is not going to really hurt me. Everybody have a great day.